These are dark times, there is no denying. Our world has perhaps faced no greater threat than it does today. But I say this to our citizenry. We, ever your servants, will continue to defend your liberty and repel the forces that seek to take it from you.
The year 2011 began with a flood in Australia so vast it turned an area larger than Texas into a disaster zone. Little did we know then, there was much worse to come. In January, earthquakes hit Argentina, Chile, Iran, Pakistan, Tajikistan, and Tonga. In February, they hit Burma, the Pacific Islands, and the big one in Christchurch, New Zealand. Buildings were toppled, scores buried, 181 died. Survivors who crawled from collapsed office buildings were stunned.
It just came down, like, right down.
But the monster earthquake of 2011 was something out of a science fiction movie. The Great Japan earthquake was one of the strongest in recorded history. From 20 miles underwater, it created a tsunami 130 feet high that traveled 6 miles inland, causing cars and boats to bob like toys. It was a quake so powerful it moved the island of Honshu 8 feet. More than 15,000 people died and almost 5,000 are missing. Then, in a terrible twist, after the quake knocked out power at the Fukushima nuclear plant, the tsunami washed out its backup generators, the last line of defense against overheating. It would be the world's first triple meltdown, spreading radiation over a wide area. It was the worst disaster to afflict Japan since World War II. The world was still in shock when the southern and eastern United States experienced the worst rash of tornadoes in recorded weather history. The 2011 super outbreak, as it was called, included 4 monster EF5 tornadoes and led to almost 350 deaths and more than $6 billion in insured losses.
Tornadoes coming in the city. Massive tornado, massive destruction.
Then, just weeks later, on a Sunday afternoon in May, a mile-wide, multiple vortex EF5 tornado plowed through Joplin, Missouri, obliterating whole sections of the town, killing 159 people and causing an estimated $2 billion in insured losses.
Only dream I've ever had. The stars of the sun. Every time I shut my eyes, it's always the same.
A 6.8 magnitude earthquake hit northeastern Myanmar overnight, killing at least 75 people.
Nearly 50 people have been arrested after a night of rioting in North London. Petrol bombs were thrown, vehicles and buildings set on fire, and shops were looted. As local people survey the damage, community and political leaders have condemned the destruction.
To try and get our heads around exactly where this all began, the Occupy Wall Street movement started in New York, quickly spreading across the US to LA, Denver and Washington, then global to Asia, joining in with the demands for change there, and Europe as well, hundreds of cities taking part in the protests.
Good evening. Tonight, I can report to the American people and to the world that the United States has conducted an operation that killed Osama bin Laden, the leader of al-Qaeda, and a terrorist who's responsible for the murder of thousands of innocent men, women, and children.
A drip, drip, drip of video footage, mobile phone footage, so it is now with the end of Colonel Gaddafi. We've just received these pictures.
Well, the Bilderberg Group and an invitation-only meeting of the world's most powerful people is taking place in Switzerland. But just what the political insiders, media moguls and industry magnates will actually discuss remains top secret. But as RT's Laura Emmett reports, there's outrage that the fate of the world could be decided behind closed doors.
This great big hotel that you can see on the hill behind me is the Hotel Souvretta in St. Moritz in Switzerland, and it's there that for the next couple of days around about 150 of the world's most powerful people will be meeting behind closed doors to discuss whatever they like. It's the Bilderberg Group again, of course. It's the invitation-only gathering of the world's most influential people. Attendees in the past have included kings and presidents, captains of industry and heads of the world's most powerful corporations. There's no media coverage of the Bilderberg Group at all. Nothing, not even a list of people who will be in attendance. There's no publicised agenda. No press releases are released either during the course of the event or at the end, despite some fairly high-level media moguls going to Bilderberg every single year. But there are dedicated Bilderberg watchers, and one of them is a man called Jim Tucker. He says that the Arab Spring will be a main topic of a discussion here. He says that the Bilderbergers are looking to create and engineer and mastermind a bloody war in the Middle East in order to protect the interests of Israel. They'll be looking to prolong that, but they will be worried, he says, because there's increasing opposition to the war in Libya in US Congress, so that will be worrying them.
These are dark times, there is no denying. Our world has perhaps faced no greater threat than it does today.